Hey everyone, I hope y'all are having a great day. I'm Valerie with Hugs and Stitches, and today I'm going to talk to you about a quilt top that I'm making. This was a spur of the moment. It was not on my bucket list. If any of you have seen my 10 habits that I want to do for 2026, I made a bucket list and I wanted to try to pull my quilts from that bucket list, but this was one of those. I just wanted to do it and I was inspired. So let me tell you what it is that I'm going to do. If you're interested, stick around. I was scrolling through Pinterest. I know none of you all do that either, right? I found a quilt that I loved. And of course, it's a pattern that's discontinued. You can't get it anywhere. And there were a lot of people asking, can I get a link to where this pattern was? The person said that they got it from a book called Buggy Barn Book, Gone Crazy. I found a website that had the projects that were listed in the Buggy Barn books, and it was not listed in that. I thought, well, what can I do now? Because I can't get that pattern. I thought, well, I'll recreate my version of it. I'm going to show you first the quilt that inspired me, and then I'm going to show you what I've done and hope that it will inspire you. I have to show you this online, so I hope that this shows well on the camera. This is the quilt that I saw online and I loved it, and I can definitely link this below. But I loved that the heart was like wonky. I don't know if you can see that really well, but it's kind of angled. And then it had this square, and then it was framed. And they were just all kinds of fabrics. And I thought, oh, I could use some of my scraps in that also. So my plan, if you go to the website, I'm going to scroll down and say visit the site. So when I visited the site, it goes through these pictures and it tells what, this is where she says, the pattern is from the Buggy Barn book, Gone Crazy. I've made it several times. It's easy, fast, and fun. Well, couldn't find that. So this is where she said you just use fat quarters and you iron the freezer paper pattern on top of the stack and you cut on the lines. I can see the heart right here. It's these two pieces, A1 and B1. I did not want to do all of this piecing to look like that. I just wanted to make it a much easier quilt for me. And so I have decided to just make a template for this heart and then put it on a 6.5 inch block to make it a 6-inch block, and then to frame that out. Let me show you what I've done. I made this template. It's just on the back of a scrap piece of paper. It was on a recipe. This is kind of a cardstock paper. And then I cut my hearts out. I picked my fabrics. I cut my hearts out. Now I turned some this way and I turned some that way so that they would not all be the same. You could make it any way you wanted to, but that's how I wanted to do it. I cut my hearts out and then I put heat and bond on the back and peeled that off, and I'm ready to iron these on my blocks. I had a lot of fun picking out all my fabrics, and I cut all of these hearts from scrap fabrics and most of these blocks from scrap also. I was going to make it 4 blocks in a row and 5 blocks vertically. That gives me 20 blocks that I need to make. The blocks are going to be 13 inches by 13 when I'm finished. I wanted to kind of keep the vibe the same, so I made them kind of soft. This might be one of my most bold, is the black and white. I had a lot of fun. I pulled my fabrics from various places. Some of them were somewhat used fat quarters, some were scraps, some were some Valentine's Day fabrics. So that is my 20 blocks with my hearts. And now I'm about to cut out my fabric to frame. I have made 1 block complete. This is 1 block complete because I wanted to get 1 finished so that I would know what it looked like. I love it. I think this is going to be so cute. I like folk art style, and I feel like this kind of falls into that. It's a little bit romantic. It's a little bit folk art with the style. And it's very unique. There is no pattern out there, like I said. So I kind of made this up. And what I did was the 6.5 inch block here. I pressed my heart on using the heat and bond. I just decided to stitch around. I'm using a cream colored thread, but I didn't want to get fancy and I didn't want to make this difficult. So I just used the cream thread and stitched around the outside. And I really like how wonky that heart is, so that's not just a traditional heart. And then I did 4-inch borders on here, or a 4-inch frame on here. So that would be 4 by 6.5. And then this would be, the top and the bottom are 4 by 13.5. So I think I told you, yes. So these are 13.5-inch square right now, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about the binding, but I don't think I'm going to put a border around this at all. I'm going to just sew the blocks together, and then I think I'm just going to put a simple binding on the outside and wrap that up. I had to pull some yardage to match, or so that it didn't really clash. I went through and pulled a bunch of colors that I think all match. I don't want them to be matchy-matchy, but I want them to be complementary. Some of them I loved. I love gingham. I tried to use gingham when I could. I ended up really enjoying this process of being able to pull things out. So I tried to use my scraps, and then I tried to use fat quarters, and then I went to yardage as my last resort. I'm still not sure about that one. It's a little different. It just doesn't go with the red. I might have to pick a different one for that. Some of them, like this, I just absolutely loved. And this is kind of a fun one. This was a random black and white dot and then a beehive. I found this fat quarter that I had with mason jars outside, and it has bees and stuff on it. So I thought, could you even get more perfect than that? Sometimes all the stars align and you find the exact right fabric in your stash. The last one was this one. I'm going to get busy and cut all of these blocks out. Well, here is the pile. Each one of them has the block, the heart, the 6.5 for the side, and then the 13.5 to go on the top and the bottom. This is a lot of fabric right here, and I am going to get to sewing them all together and making my blocks, and then I will just center these hearts on here. It doesn't, I'm not going to measure. I mean, I may take a ruler and just make sure that I have the same amount here and here and here and here, but I won't fuss over it a lot. I have laid everything out in the way I like it, and now I'm making my stacks of rows, and I have pocket flippies, and so I just put that A, B, this will be row C, this D and E. And I'm gonna go sew my rows together. So I'm totally finished with this quilt. You can get this quilt pieced easily in a day. It took me 2 days because I totally finished it. I quilted it, and it's bound. Everything's done. I am going to show it to you now. And I did a little bit extra on the backing, which took me some time also. There's a lot of ways to alter this quilt. You could make the blocks a lot smaller instead of these 13-inch blocks. That's just what I chose to do. You could also hand stitch around these. I think that would be so adorable. I just am not that great at hand embroidery, and I don't really have the patience for that right now. Here's the final quilt. I don't know if you can see that whole thing. I hope so. I absolutely love it. I love all the patchwork. And this is the backing that I was telling you about. I went ahead and did a strip in the back and did another block right here in the center. And I put my branding down here. So I thought that went really well. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you try the quilt. It was really a fun quilt to make, and it was easy to do in a day. If you do make the quilt, please comment and or send a picture of it. I would love to see it. I would love it if you would like and subscribe, and God bless you.